Hey guys, in my previous videos we have discussed about two features of living organisms, that is growth and reproduction, and justified why they are not the defining features. If you have missed that video, I have given the link below. Please do watch it. Now in this video I am going to discuss another characteristic, that is metabolism. Another characteristic of life is metabolism. All living organisms are made up of chemicals. These chemicals, small and big, belonging to various classes, size, functions, etc. Chemical classes are groupings that consist of chemicals sharing similar features. Chemicals can be classified by their structure, example hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are those chemical compounds which has carbon and hydrogen in their chemical formula. Chemicals can be classified on the basis of physical properties such as volatile organic compounds or other factors. As metabolism refers to reactions going inside our body, and these chemicals are constantly being made and changed into some other biomolecules. These conversions are chemical reactions or metabolic reactions. There are thousands of metabolic reactions occurring simultaneously inside all living organisms, be they unicellular or multicellular. All plants, animals, fungi, and microbes exhibit metabolism. As I stated, the sum total of all the chemical reactions occurring in our body is metabolism. No non-living object exhibits metabolism. Metabolic reactions can be demonstrated outside the body in cell-free systems. For example, there are two types of proteins, essential and non-essential. Non-essential proteins are those types which our body doesn't require from outside and can prepare them. So, how will it prepare them? By chemical reactions, or we can say by metabolic reactions. And as we all know, scientists can prepare those proteins in artificial medium. This proves that these metabolic reactions can be made to run in vitro culture. In vitro here refers to artificial. And isolated metabolic reactions outside the body of an organism performed in a test tube is neither living nor non-living. Hence, while metabolism is a defining feature of all living organisms without exception, isolated metabolic reactions in vitro are not living things but surely living reactions. But the question here arises is why we are referring these reactions as living reactions? Because these reactions undergo inside our body, the living system. That's why we refer them as living reactions. Hence, cellular organization of the body is the defining feature of life forms. Yes, now from the word we can extract the meaning cellular organization. By breaking the word, we extracted organization of cells, such as cellular level of organization in poriferas, tissue level of organization in cnidaria and ctenophora, and many more. The term porifera, cnidaria and ctenophora, we will learn about them in animal kingdom. Cellular organization is the defining feature of living organism because no non-living is blessed with cells. As before getting to the idea about the cellular organization or organization of cells, it's really best to have an idea about the cell. So what is cell? It is the smallest structural, as we know it measures in micrometer, which is a really tiny value, and functional unit of life, because all functions of the body are done by these cells either as individual or element or in the form of organization. It is typically consists of cytoplasm and nucleus enclosed in a membrane. Here with the help of an example of animal cells, that is cell found inside animals. Those who are confused with animal kingdom about the organism who come in this kingdom can go to the video of biological classification and diversity to get an elaborated idea. The links are given below. So let's study cell. Here I will provide you a glimpse. I will do an elaborated discussion of every cell organelle in separate videos. So let's start. The first one is mitochondria. They are the ATP factories of cell, or we can say powerhouse of the cells. What is ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Actually, by popping out the phosphate groups from this complex, the liberation of energy takes place, and that's why they are the energy currency. Now mitochondria is a double membrane bound organelle. So in the diagram, as you can say, there is two membranes. First the outer membrane, and the second the wiggled one inside the outer membrane, known as inner membranes. The two membranes are made up of phospholipids, or we can say lipids having phosphate groups, and proteins. So revision time. Mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cells. They are the ATP factories of the cell. ATP is the energy currency. It has two membranes, outer membrane and inner membranes. The two membranes are made up of phospholipids. They are the lipids which has phosphate groups, and proteins. Next one is cytoplasm. It is all of the material within the cell enclosed by the cell membrane except nucleus. It is 80% water and usually colorless. Cytoplasma is cell minus cell membrane or plasma membrane minus nucleus, that is equivalent to cytoplasma. The third one is lysosome. Lysosomes consist of degradative, or we can say hydrolytic enzymes. They are really dangerous enzymes that can break down many kinds of biomolecules. As they are handling such kind of hazardous enzymes, so to protect themselves, their membranes and luminal proteins have specific compositions. Luminal proteins refers to those proteins which are present in the lumen of lysosomes or inside lysosomes. So to protect those lysosomes from the hydrolytic enzymes present inside those lysosomes, they have this special characteristic of specific compositions carrying luminal proteins and membrane. The fourth one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It is a meshwork of fine tubular membrane, vesicles, and parts of a continuous membrane. Now we have centrioles. They are a pair of minute cylindrical organelles, as you can see in the diagram, near the nucleus in animal cells, involved in development of spindle fibers in cell division. Important point, they are present only in animal cells. Now a very important organelle, that is Golgi bodies. They are responsible for transporting, modifying and packaging proteins and lipids into vesicles for delivery to targeted destinations. So about Golgi bodies, we can say they are responsible for transportation and modifying products for transportation. Product here refers to those proteins or lipids. Next is nucleus. Cell nuclei contains most of the cell's genetic material, organized as multiple long linear DNA. Long DNA molecule in a complex with a large variety of proteins such as histones to form chromosomes. Next is nuclear envelope. A double membrane nucleus has double membrane nuclear envelope that encloses the entire organelle and isolates its content from cellular cytoplasm. It isolates the content of the nucleus with the content of the cellular cytoplasma. As nuclear envelope is impermeable to large molecules, impermeable refers to which does not allow to pass through. Nuclear pores are required to regulate nuclear transport of molecules across the envelope. During the discussion of nucleus, I have used the term chromosomes, and now I am going to state about chromatin. About chromosomes, I stated that DNA molecule in a complex with a large variety of proteins such as histones to form chromosomes. And with chromatin, I am stating that the DNA molecule double helix, as we know DNA is double stranded, in the cell nucleus is packaged by special proteins termed histones. So what is the difference between chromosome and chromatin? Actually, chromatin and chromosomes both refers to The DNA double helix in the cell nucleus when it is packaged by special proteins termed as histones. During cell division, the chromatin, this complex structure of DNA with histone proteins gets condensed to chromosomes. So actually they are the same thing but at different stages of cell cycle. Next is cell coat, covering that surrounds the cell membrane, or we can say plasma membrane. We can have various examples of bacteria or other entities in which cell membrane is covered with a cell coat. In bacteria mostly it is made up of glycocalyx. So now what do you mean by plasma membrane? All cells are surrounded by plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is selectively permeable and regulates which molecule are allowed to enter and exit the cell. Selectively permeable refers to those membranes which regulates that which molecule should be allowed to enter the cell and exit the cell. The next one is endoplasmic reticulum. It is a network of membranes, tubules within the cytoplasm of a eukaryotic cell. Continues with nuclear membrane. You can see here that it is continuing with the nuclear membrane, the two dots I have showed. Okay, with the nuclear membrane. It usually has ribosomes attached, and when that happens they are named as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why we are calling them as rough? Because of the appearance they have due to the presence of ribosomes. These rough endoplasmic reticulum are involved in protein synthesis. Those endoplasmic reticulum which are not attached with ribosomes are known as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic reticulum is a single entity and we have divided them in as rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum on the basis of presence or absence of ribosomes. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum are involved in synthesis and storage of lipids such as cholesterol and phospholipids, and rough endoplasmic reticulum are involved in with the synthesis of proteins. Well. Now, as we have got a simple idea about the cell, now it is much better to discuss the cellular organization or organization of cell. Cellular organization is the basis and evolution of life in which micromolecules form macromolecules, which then form organelles like mitochondria, lysosomes, etc. Organelles for the cells which become tissues, organs and systems. This then forms a whole organization, or we can say organism. So what are cells? Cell is a structural and functional unit of life. What are tissues? Group of cells having similar origin together perform specific functions. Organ refers to group of tissues in a living organism that have been adapted to perform specific functions. What do you mean by organ system? An organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform one or more functions. So as we see in the diagram, and all these entities form organism. An organism is an individual entity that exhibits the property of life. So in this video we have discussed about metabolism and cellular organization and clarified why they are the defining features of living organism. In my next video I will provide you an elaborated discussion on a very important living characteristic, that is consciousness. So now let's wind up this lecture with an interesting question from cellular world. You remember lysosomes, also known as suicidal bats? They carry dangerous enzymes. Hydrolytic enzymes. Those enzymes are dangerous hydrolytic enzymes. So now my question is, what will happen if by any means the enzymes present inside lysosomes get leak? Pause the video and think about the factors that can affect working of enzyme. and try to determine which factor plays the life-saving role. Now, here is the answer. The factor which affects the working of enzymes are temperature, presence of any inhibitor or activator, pH. The most easiest and efficient way is to make changes in pH. Now let's think about temperature. It is really hard to maintain different temperature inside lysosomes and cytoplasma. So it is not the life-saving factor. Introduction of inhibitor or activator is not the most efficient and easiest way. Rather, it creates complexity. It enhances the complexity of the system. The third, pH. Let's come to pH. And maintaining different pH inside lysosomes and cytoplasma is possible, and the most efficient plus easiest way. So it is the answer. The hydrolytic enzyme inside lysosome has optimum pH of 4.5 to 5, and cells maintain a pH around 7.2. So whenever the scenario of this question happens and the hydrolytic enzyme gets in the cytoplasma, thus the pH of the cell causes deactivation of the enzyme, and tada! This saves the cell. So now if you like my effort, do like the video. If you are a new user, please subscribe to my channel. If anyone of you want help on any topic of biology, address the topic in the comment section. Thank you and a very happy learning.